Sure. What an extraordinary football game. Pitt's got an unbelievable team. It was evident in the first quarter it was going to be a game of just finding a way to get stops and turnovers. That's what it was all going to be about. Two quarterbacks that were just on fire. Kenny Pickett is that guy. He was special. And it was going to be a battle of perseverance. Proud of the way that we started. Offense started the game really well. Defense got some stops in the first quarter. We ended up with a lead after one. And then it was a grind to see it through. A game of momentum. They seized it back in the third. We made a big drive to kind of take it back ourselves. It really just sort of came down to two big stops, forcing a field goal in the red zone with Cam Kitchens sniffing out the Philly special play as a true freshman, and then James Williams with a sliding interception. What a throw by Tyler Van Dyke to get the ball off the goal line. There was a game of just so many extraordinary plays for both sides. An amazing college ball game, but to go back-to-back weeks beating top 20 teams, another road win against a top 20 team, which hasn't been a thing that's occurred here a long time. I'm just so proud of our guys, the way they fight, the way they stay together. And now the inches that maybe went against us a couple weeks ago, it's obvious there was so many just fine line plays in that game, and one more went our way than went Pitt's way. So just humbled to sit here victorious, part of just a very, very special college football game. Questions?
Great. Thank you very much, Coach. We're going to start first with Gary Furman from Cane Sport. Gary, go ahead.
Hey, Manny, how are you? Congratulations. As you guys went through training camp and the early stages of the season, did you guys have any sense that Tyler Van Dyke had this type of game in him? I mean, you mentioned some of the amazing throws he made today, and he's backed it up 2 weeks in a row now, and it's really showing that he's got an enormous amount of talent.
You're absolutely right. We did feel that way, and we felt that. The funny thing is, we felt that way about Tyler, Jake, and Derek, because we legitimately went into the season still not knowing who the number 2 was, and that's the crazy thing you have to understand about Tyler. Tyler he wasn't getting the number 2 reps in September when Derek was around, because him and Jake were splitting. So his growth, his calm demeanor, it's just remarkable. The guy comes off the field after throwing a touchdown pass like we're. Like it's just, a walk in the park. He's just got such a cool demeanor about him. That was a rough environment. Pitt, they take pride in making life hard on opposing quarterbacks, and to be able to hang 38 points on him and throw for 426, that's pretty special.
So just as a follow, that said, considering, like you said, he wasn't even getting second team reps in September, what do you think has happened here in the last month and a half or so that's allowing him to play at this level?
Well, a couple of things. One, I think you got to give Rhett Lashley a lot of credit for putting in positions, to make plays in our passing offense. I think our wide receivers are making plays for him. There were a bunch of instances of that today, and I think we felt like we're better on the outside than we were a year ago. And so we felt like whoever our quarterback was going to be, that would help us out in our passing game. Offensive line, stood firm. Pitt, is always going to be a threat to get you on the ground and sack you. And they had a couple, and I think 1 or 2 of them I'm not sure were even on the line, but it's a team effort. And Tyler just gets to be the conductor and move the offense. But it was great to see, multiple guys, Restrepo, Harley making plays, Rambo, obviously the big day, and Will Mallory on the trick for the touchdown. It's just a lot of guys stepping up, a lot of guys making things happen.
Coach, we've got Manny Navarro from The Athletic. Manny, go ahead.
Yeah, Manny, you mentioned a game of inches. Just what your thoughts were on that 4th down play when Will fumbled, and what refs were initially telling you. If you could just take us down to the field at that moment. I'm sure it was pretty pressure packed.
Yeah, there were some amazing reviews today. It just an extraordinary game. Like I said, it was all about where the ball went out. And obviously from our vantage point, you can see on the jumbotron, it sure felt like it rolled out over the little hash mark that we had to get the ball to, but you got to make sure that there's enough evidence to be able to overturn it. So, that was a huge deal, huge play in the game, obviously. Just the ups and downs of like, you got the first down and holy cow, the ball is out. Pitt's got a chance to recover it. And the thing is, it's like a slow motion. The thing's just rolling and rolling. And actually I have to make mention on that play, the effort of Tyler Van Dyke. One thing you see on the replay as you're watching, Tyler is in a full sprint and throws his body in there to make sure the ball gets out of bounds. It was just an extraordinary, of a game of insane things. That might have been the most insane.
And I could, as a quick follow, just your emotions. I mean, obviously, we know what kind of happened last week with Blake, and you obviously you guys came back, won that game, come back and win this game. Just for you emotionally, the swing, because you guys were in a down position, after that North Carolina game.
I'm very emotional for our players, Manny. I really am. I'm so proud and happy that they get a chance to experience these victories. These are hard wins over two really, really good football teams. I mean, Clemson came in here last week and just got beaten soundly. And you just want to see them have, but I always felt very calm because I knew we had a team that was playing together and playing hard. And I just felt like if we just kept improving, we just, did the little things better as the coaching staff, that the results would start to show. And obviously, you see we have some young guys, we mentioned, the first drive of the game, some of our young guys, we have 2 third downs where we completely just bust coverages. Let them convert for their first touchdown, but no one flinches, man. No one flinches. They get right back out there, find ways to make plays. That was a game of, I told them at halftime, you have to be brave in this game. You have to be brave to line up and play against these guys down after down, because they were relentless on both sides of the ball of coming after us. And you couldn't hope for Pitt to mess it up for us. I mean, we were going to have to find a way to earn it. And I thought our guys did.
Coach, we got David Wilson from the Miami Herald. David, go ahead.
You mentioned Cam's play to break up the Philly special there. Kind of curious, is that something you guys had worked on? Like something you kind of maybe knew was coming, and just Cam, was that, I don't know, just can you kind of take me through just what his assignment was there? Was that an instinctual play? Was that something he knew? I mean, that's for a true freshman to sniff that out seemed pretty impressive.
He was our free safety basically on that play. And it sort of came at him. We have practiced that play. We did not practice that play this week because that had not been something that showed up in their scouting report. And it's just, I mean, to me, that's just, Cam is a very heady guy, smart football player, and he was Johnny on the spot right there. And man, we sure needed him.
And then just the 2 freshman safeties in general, you just mentioned obviously some busts, but the 2 big plays at the end, just how would you kind of assess them first time out there, obviously without Bolt?
Well, I think that's the best part. I mean, again, they have the ability to make some plays, but I think the biggest thing is that when they don't do well, and it's hard when you're a young guy, when they don't do well, they respond. You know what I mean? And T-Rob's over there and he's getting things corrected, and you're able to fix some of your issues during the course of the game. And I love the way they stay after it. I love the way that they, that they just the same thing, that they don't panic when things don't go well, because again, when you're playing against a guy like Pickett, he's obviously going to make his plays, and he made an extraordinary amount. Just his ability, Pickett's ability, just extend plays with his feet. If you played zone, he was going to, cut you up underneath. If you played man, you'd be in good coverage. But you just hold on the ball probably a count or 2 longer than what you're used to when you're playing man coverage, and guys just break open. So you got to stay after it, and you got to be relentless. And and it became a game of, obviously we were able to get a couple sacks and the 2 turnovers that really I thought was the difference. The 2-1.
Coach, we got time for a couple more. We're going to go to David Lake from 24/7. David, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Yeah, you've now won 2 games since your athletic director publicly tried to distance himself from you. I'm curious if he's reached out to you and tried to explain what he was thinking with that action, and or has he tried to make amends, since doing that?
We have good conversations every week with our administration, and as I mentioned a week ago, we have a good working relationship. We both want the same things. So, everybody's really excited about the fact that we got this win. It's a humongous win for our program. Like I said, back-to-back 20 wins keeps us alive in the Coastal Division. And we got a team that's really, really confident, and we got 4 games left, and there's no way we've played our best game yet. We are still getting better. There's still a lot of places for us to improve. But like I said, if we continue to play with the spirit and the fight that we have, the other stuff's a lot easier to fix. It's hard to fix fight if you don't have it. And our guys, they have it in abundance.
Coach, last one for you. We got Susan Miller-Degnan from the Miami Herald. Susan, go ahead.
Hey, Manny, congratulations. Another great game. You kind of talked a little bit about what this does for your confidence, but especially playing in a game, this close against a team, I guess, this good, with a quarterback this good, going back home, just how much does this propel you now towards the end of the season?
Well, it does. It sets us up, because obviously the team that had no losses in the Coastal now has 1. So it's almost a game and a half and obviously, everyone knows we need Pitt to lose one more time, just like we need Virginia to lose again in our league. But it gives, it keeps you in the mix, and as we've done, we're not going to, focus on that whole bunch because we got Georgia Tech, coming into our stadium next week. And we have played, I mentioned this during the week, we have played amazing quarterbacks all year. Our conference has ridiculous quarterbacks this year. And I don't think that's talked about enough, including our guy, how good these guys are. And I promise you, Pitt has a lot of pride in how they play defense. Pat Narduzzi's and Coach Bates are outstanding defensive coaches. And there were 2 quarterbacks today that were on fire, guys making plays everywhere. So, I said, I'm just delighted that we found a way to make one more play than they did.